pictures for later.
This is the Oliver house.
2 incidences. Nat Anderson, he came out of his room and was shot in the head.
There's more murder.
10 years later, a sheriff deputy caught his wife having an affair. I mean, the entire building is haunted.
We're in Bisbee, Arizona, continuing our investigation of the hauntings of this former mining town. All right, so right now we are at the second lockdown location that we're going to be doing. This is the Oliver house. This building probably has the most sinister, evil type energy because of what occurred here.
There were 2 incidences. One was with a gentleman by the name of Nat Anderson, who was apparently sleeping with the money man's wife, and he owed a lot of money to the money man. And he came out of his room 13, and was shot in the head. I actually have a copy of his death certificate.
This death certificate proves this murder happened, but what about the other deaths which are part of the Oliver house lore?
Apparently 10 years later in the 30s, a sheriff deputy caught his wife having an affair there. Shot his wife. Shot her lover. Shot everyone he could. And then he shot himself.
Again, this story has no documentation supporting it. That's why it's so important we try to communicate with any spirits involved to validate it. We're going to go meet with Patty, and Patty is the owner of the Oliver house, and we're going to really pick her brain to find out if these murders and a massacre really did happen here. Well, first off, thanks for letting us come here and investigate.
Okay.
Okay.
Good luck finding ghosts.
Before we do any paranormal investigation, we want to know about the history.
At the beginning, it was a boarding house for the engineers who developed the mining industry.
During the 8 years that you've been here, have you witnessed any types of paranormal activity?
It was in June, and June is normally a very benign month. There's not a lot of wind. So the wind just whipped that upstairs door, slammed it shut. When we opened the door, I went out, and in the hall was a tissue that was in the shape of a flower, and it had the blot of a woman's lipstick, and there was a bright yellow line around the edge of the blot.
Patty is skeptical, and we can understand why. Was it possible the wind not only shut the door, but blew a random tissue into her hallway? It seems like you're not 100% that this place is haunted, but you're also not 100% sure that it's not haunted. It seems you're a little unsure. Is that safe to say?
Yeah.
While Patty seems unconvinced, we reviewed her guest book, which contains countless stories and experiences of those who stayed at the Oliver house. Evidence that something is happening here.
They say there's a vortex right on top of where the bed is. I left my hand there, and it started to get pins and needles, and the pins and needles went up my arm, and that's when I removed my arm away. I mean, the entire building is haunted.
Well, I think our work is cut out. So I think that we should communicate there, use a spirit box, and we ask questions about that and see what we can find.
We going to the border. Yeehaw!
Between both locations, a lot went down in Bisbee. To clear our heads before the lockdown, we decided to venture south. Bisbee is really close to the Mexican border, 7 miles. None of us have ever seen a Mexico-USA border wall.
I have.
Okay, so I have never seen a Mexican border wall before. Sound like a fun adventure?
I bet they got some ghosts on those walls.
Got the shot. Pulling up to the border of Mexico, you can see the wall all along here. Warning, weapons and ammunition illegal in Mexico.
There's the security checkpoint right there. Well, there's nothing wrong with getting out and looking around, right?
As we approach the border wall, which you shouldn't do, we hear...
What was that, gunfire? That's gunfire. We need to go talk to Border Patrol.
We head to Border Patrol to ask if what we heard were gunshots.
All right, now we're going to pull into the Border Patrol Central Station here. See if they will allow us to do a little ride-along with them.
No is not a word in our vocabulary. So with cameras in hand, we're making a stealth run back to the border. See if we can find where those gunshots were coming from. With Border Patrol nowhere in sight, it's time to make a walk for the border.
Are we supposed to be up this far? There's only one way to find out. Right over there is Mexico. Looks like America. To be honest. Uh-oh. It's okay. Don't worry about it. We don't know what we're doing. We got a guy racing over here right now in a Jeep. Sam points like a camera down. Yeah, he's coming up on him.
At this point, it's obvious. We're gonna be busted.
Check it out. They guard Mexico with porta potties.